Joan, I'm always being ticked off for seeing the funny side of everything. You always see the funny side of everything, but is there anything that actually you don't laugh at?
That's a very good question. This side, that was very well. Actually, if I want to say something, and I feel I should say it, then it's okay. Does that make sense? Like, I do a lot, my husband committed suicide, and I do a lot of stuff on suicide. And when my husband committed suicide, and I work for suicide survivors, I mean, it's a big part of my life. And suicide, by the way, when my husband committed suicide, it was really very chic. It was in the 80s. It was something to do. Nowadays, like, oh, everybody's doing it. I'm going to come out. Oh, please just email me. I mean, but I find if you tell the truth, people will understand you on stage much better. When I finally came back after my husband killed himself, and I went on stage the first time, and it was a very big room in Las Vegas, and you knew that they knew what was wrong. So I just walked out and said, my husband killed himself. First joke. And it was my fault. We were making love, and I took the bag off my head. And it gets me, everything gets me through. And it gets my friends through, and my family through. My daughter Melissa told me when my husband committed suicide. It was terrible, obviously. And Melissa was 15 at the time, and I wasn't home, and my husband had gone to Philadelphia to kill himself. And it's a nightmare story. And I wasn't home, and she got the phone call. And some moron said to a 15-year-old girl, "Is your mother home?" And she said, "No." He said, "Well, please tell her your father committed suicide." I mean, just, yeah, you have no idea. And she had spoken to my husband the night before because he had gone to Philadelphia, and he had called her, and she said, "Are you coming home, Daddy?" And he said, "Tomorrow." Hung up and killed himself. So I had a 15-year-old girl who had gotten the news, had to tell me, and then had spoken to my husband, and kept saying, what could I have said? What could I have said? And which is nothing. If you are aware of suicides, you can't stop with a phone call. But it was just awful. And we're Jewish, and Jews spend a week after a death sitting in the house. That's what we do. Irish have wakes, Jews have a thing called Shiva, and people come into you. And for that full week, I couldn't find my daughter. Look, it gets me crazy. I couldn't find, she had bangs, fringe, and there was like the fringe and thing. I couldn't find the face in there. She just wasn't there. And then, it embarrassed me so much. And then the Shiva was over, and I took her out to dinner, and I could not reach her. I couldn't get to her. And we go to dinner in this very famous restaurant, very expensive in Beverly Hills. And we sit down, we open the menu, and I said, "Melissa, if Daddy were alive and saw these prices, he'd kill himself all over again." And she laughed. I got my daughter back. So, I'll leave it at that. Good night.